audience.
Hello, I'm Holly Steeney, and this is my informative speech. The sun glints across the guillotine blade. You can see the blood splattered across the edge. Today is the day for another execution. The French Revolution began in 1789, and it lasted for 10 years. In that time, a monarchy was dissolved, many people lost their heads, and it was a time of great fear. I first learned about the French Revolution in my AP European History course, and I have done further research in order to prepare for today. Today I will be discussing the key people who were executed in the French Revolution: King Louis XVI, Marie Antoinette, and Maximilien Robespierre. Of the people who I will be discussing, King Louis XVI was the first person to be executed. King Louis XVI was the King of France, and when he inherited the throne, his subjects wanted him to bring much change, because the ruler before him, King Louis XV, had a very, very long rule with hardly any change. And the ruler before, King Louis XV, had a very scandalous rule filled with many mistresses, and this enraged the country. According to PBS, King Louis XVI inherited a government deeply in debt and a society in which entrenched privilege made it difficult, if not impossible, to effect the social, economic, and political reforms that were necessary. Even though King Louis XVI inherited all of these issues, he still did not do enough to enact any change whatsoever. And this lack of change is what led to his death. He was convicted of treason, and on January 21st, 1793, he was executed. And 9 months later, his wife was also executed. Marie Antoinette was the Queen of France, and she was married to King Louis XVI. Marie Antoinette was known for having a very extravagant lifestyle. She would show up to parties in very rich and glamorous gowns and lavish jewelry. And she would do this while the French treasury was empty and the peasants were starving. This is what led many people to assume that she had said, "Let them eat cake," when asked about the starving peasants. However, it has been debated as to whether or not she actually said this. What truly enraged the peasants, though, was that she acted like a mistress. This reminded them of King Louis XV's rule, who the peasants did not like. King Louis XV's rule was plagued by many mistresses. And according to PBS, by cultivating fashion, taste, and the arts, while failing to produce a legitimate heir, Marie Antoinette looked to all the world like a mistress and not a wife. Even though Marie Antoinette did later produce an heir, the damage was already done because the peasants already had such a great dislike for her. And this is what led to her death. Marie Antoinette was convicted of treason and convicted of sexual abuse against her son. She was beheaded on October 16, 1793. Now both King Louis XVI and Marie Antoinette were dead, and the monarchy was completely dissolved. This led to the Reign of Terror, which was led by Maximilien Robespierre. Maximilien Robespierre was a man of the people, and he was actually a key force behind convicting Marie Antoinette and King Louis XVI. And he led the Reign of Terror. The Reign of Terror was a time of great upheaval and many executions after the monarchy had been dissolved. Maximilien Robespierre had a very, very short reign. It was only about 1 year. And in that time, 40,000 people lost their heads, which is what led many people to think that his policies were a tad overkill. And he inspired much fear in his subjects. This fear led many people to feel unsafe and insecure. Nobody felt safe. And his policies were very extreme, and this is what led to his demise. He was executed on July 28, 1794. According to Education Broadcast, Maximilien Robespierre was caught up in a death machine of his own creation. Now, with the death of Maximilien Robespierre, the three most important people of the French Revolution were now dead. Today I discussed the main people who were executed in the French Revolution: King Louis XVI, Marie Antoinette, and Maximilien Robespierre. A lack of political change that was necessary is what led to King Louis XV's downfall. And Marie Antoinette's very lavish lifestyle and acting like a mistress is what led to her demise. And Maximilien Robespierre's ability to inspire fear is what caused his downfall. All of these people were executed within about 2 years of each other, and it was a time of great upheaval in France. You look up to the guillotine blade, and it falls, slicing off the head of the last victim. The French Revolution, like this speech, is now over.